It's all in your feelings. It's all how I receive your sound. All in your feelings. Your emotions, they find me out. It's all in your feelings. It's all how I receive your sound. All in your feelings. Your emotions, they find me out. When I let it go, when I let it go, then I let it go. I let it all go now. I let it go. Hey, now I let it go. Whoa, I let it go. Whoa, I let it all go now.
We are live. There we go. What's up, everybody? How you doing? Holla at your boy. We're live. We're in the building. It's Tuesday night. We're doing the podcast. We're going to get into some things tonight. We're going to talk about, Halloween just passed. We're going to get into that and coming from that from a Christian standpoint and the controversy there. There's a lot of controversy going around in the Christian YouTube space about that. And we're going to talk about, of course, Joe Biden. We're going to talk about some vaccine stuff. We're going to talk about Let's Go Brandon. And you're watching Young Lion TV.
Young lion, young lion. Everywhere I look, they're dying. Everywhere I look, they're dying. Young lion, everywhere I look, they're dying. Everywhere I look, they're dying. Young lion, won't you get up and start fighting? Everywhere I look, they're hiding. Young lion.
Yes, sir. You're watching Young Lion TV. Thank you for tuning in. Everybody who's in the chat already, shout out to y'all. George, Emma, Raheem, what's up, brother? Thanks for stopping in, guys. Please hit that share button. Just hit the share button real quick. Share it to your feed. You don't got to write nothing. Just hit the share now, because when you do that, it helps the algorithm send it out to people, and then it thinks that people want to watch this as opposed to the way they suppress it because of the things that we're talking about. So there's like a counterbalance going on. See, the things we talk about makes them shadow ban it, and then when you share it, it kind of counteracts that. So we appreciate that if you guys hit the share button. Also, hit those like buttons, and if you're watching on YouTube, hit the notification notification bell so you know when we go live every time, and subscribe over there. Man, we got to get back up on Twitch, man. Twitch we haven't been streaming on there because we got to get that new stream key on there.
I was actually gonna hit you up about that. I was gonna see it instead of Thursday.
Sorry to make a mistake. Try again.
Hello.
Nope.
Anyway.
Is your mic plugged in? I hear it. Try now. Uh-oh.
It might be the wire.
Might need a new cable.
Hello.
Maybe cable.
I'll switch it out.
Hello. All right. Anyway, I was gonna get with you because I can fix the Twitch and I got some buttons I want to add to it to
Okay.
increase its value.
It's the thing because he knocked it over.
Okay. Now fix that transmitter for us. There you go. Yeah.
Yay, Kyle.
So, yeah, you can see we got a couple technical issues going on, but it's all good. We're going to work through it. We here. I got Moan with me. We were talking about Moan has been dressing super fly lately. You know what I mean? for reasons that don't need to be said, but he's on his bringing sexy back vibes right now. So I don't
think that's it.
He's been wearing so much Hollister lately, and he claims it's because Hollister was on sale.
It was a 4-pack. All right.
I think he's just trying to get in touch with his youth.
Yeah.
You buy the cologne too? Next thing I know, you're going to be at Top Dog. So.
Yeah. All of us literally look like twins. And Moan is the bringing sexy back over here. We got his,
I try to dress up a little bit.
But we got Stan with us rocking the Elite FC.
What up? That's Noe's team.
Yeah.
That's Noe's team. Yep. Shout out to them.
I made the logo and everything.
It's the transmitter.
Yeah,
it's the transmitter.
So bad.
Yeah, you gotta. Yeah, there you go. Watch there's cables wrapping around it that also interferes. So just move those out the way. But we got Stan with us. We got Jake with us. And then we got John, and Kyle. Kyle is doing stuff. But yeah, appreciate all of y'all for checking in.
I like how you guys make fun of me, but we don't talk about Jake getting all this new Adidas gear.
Yo, that is true.
He's been awesome. Adidas.
We talk about it amongst ourselves, but it does seem like that Jake is like got an Adidas sponsorship or something.
Yeah, you got sponsored, bro.
He's always head to toe Adidas every time he steps out the house.
He became a travel coach. Now he got sponsors for Jake's team.
Right.
I mean, no, I just go to the my wife goes to the outlets and she shops for me. Right? Sometimes I go and I shop for myself.
George is using my.
George said my guy is up in his game. He talking about you, Mom. Yeah,
I'm trying to keep up with you, George.
What did Mom say? She's talking about the election. Yeah, we're having a big election in Jersey today.
Yeah,
big election today.
I voted today.
Yeah, we all went out there and did our part. Kyle, did you vote today?
Absolutely not.
John, did you vote? Oh,
John still.
I didn't vote.
He's still technically a California resident. So.
I don't even know who these people are.
But you do know what Jack Murphy's been doing for the last year and a half.
He said Jack Murphy.
Phil Murphy.
Phil Murphy.
might as well be Jack.
Crossing them up.
Yeah, you cross contaminated.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, Murphy is on some slimy stuff.
Yeah. Yeah, you do know what's been going on with that because you've been here.
Yeah,
so
just the stuff from the podcast thing.
Yeah.
Come on, younger generation.
Come on, y'all got to get it together.
Yeah.
I know we getting it together, but
Kyle.
come on, y'all got to jump on.
Kyle.
You don't need to include me.
No, we do.
No, you don't.
You are responsible.
You voted for
You're
Biden.
gonna be the one crying to us. I don't understand what's happening.
Yeah.
I'll tell you why you're paying $7 a gallon.
Right. Yo, did you see that? Did you see that? There was like one county in California where it's up to $8 a gallon.
Yeah.
No.
Jeez.
Yes.
Yep.
Yeah, dude.
$8 a gallon.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
No wonder why the cost to ship my stuff out from California went up like
Yeah,
$700.
Double, yeah.
Well, not only that, because they can't ship anything. They can't find no drivers. They can't find. No one can get stuff into the ports. Now that Texas just opened up its ports to try to convince them to come around.
Yeah.
Because some of the backups in California are taking over 100 days to get their stuff. It's like sitting in the water, just waiting to be brought into the ports. So they're saying, instead of waiting all that time, it'll take 2 more weeks to come around to our ports in Texas. Just come around there and they open.
I think some of them went. I seen something up to Florida.
Yeah, Florida is doing the same thing. Yeah, I saw some videos of boats coming in there. Actually, I saw this meme that was funny. Let me see. I think I brought it up. Let me see if I can find it. It was about that though.
Yeah, I decided to wait until that price drops a little bit.
Yeah.
Well, you need to get somebody out. Let's go, Brandon.
At least you have a place where you're not getting charged.
Here it is.
Right? Are you getting
charged? No, it's $72 a month.
Oh, never mind. I thought it was.
No, it's like a storage unit that's.
Yeah, pull this up. I saw this meme that was funny. People were spending this around Twitter. People getting in line for Black Friday.
Heading to the boats.
They heading to them boats, baby. That's where all the goods are. That's where all the goods are.
Yo, somebody
deals are on the ship.
Somebody's probably planning to do something like that.
Right? They get a little life rafts. About to be like Tom Hanks on Castaway, trying to get them Black Friday deals.
One of these stores who has a ship out there should do that.
Yeah.
We can get out here.
Right? We got deals. Deals. And then it'd be cheaper because you don't got to pay for shipping. You don't got to pay for Just get it right from the boats. Oh, man. That's crazy, man.
Memes are hilarious.
But Halloween was just over the weekend. Sunday. Did y'all do anything? Y'all ended up doing anything?
Just took, the kids to church.
My son now, he doesn't want to go with daddy at all.
What? Really?
Yeah. So
who did he go with?
He went with his friends.
Oh, yeah. Because he want to get into some stuff. That's why he don't want you over there watching what he's doing.
He want to get all the candy.
Yeah.
Like that dude had a whole pillowcase.
Yeah.
Yo, it was heavy as heck, dude.
Yeah.
He filled it up.
Yeah,
with all candy, but they went early, so I ended up going with the little kids, and them, and I was like, because he wasn't going till 5, and it started at 3, what 4 or something.
I think it was 3.
Yeah, so I was like, why don't you go with us first? Because you got 2 hours. Mm-hmm. He was like, no, I don't want to go with you. I'm like, my feelings was a little hurt.
Wow.
You don't want to spend time with daddy at all.
Nope. He already dissing you, boy. You cramping his style. See, all them cool clothes don't work on your son. That don't work. He's like, nah.
That's why I stole his candy.
That's right. Now it's our candy.
Yep.
Twix.
Yeah. So Jake, well, first I want to talk about, I met up with Jake and our kids went out together. You could pull this up real quick. Boom.
Oh.
Yeah. So our kids was all hanging out. Jake's neighborhood was like on the news one year for like their Halloween thing is ridiculous. Like these people go all out.
The whole block?
Dude, one of the houses, I told them, had to be sponsored. Like we was making fun of Jake being sponsored by Adidas.
Yeah, I talked to the coach of my son's soccer team.
Okay.
He knows the guys.
So okay.
He was telling me, he had to give out the raisins because they give him like $10,000 to set all that stuff.
Yeah, dude.
Wow.
Like Sunmade had to come. Like I guess because this neighborhood is like known and got big for this, so Sunmade like must have partnered with this one house that they do the big maze every year, right, in their yard.
Yeah. But
they actually gave them money to like make it more elaborate, but then was like Sunmade everywhere. And then they were giving out these big bags of like yogurt covered raisins. Like I'm talking about like 20 packs.
Yeah.
Like
they're nasty.
No kids want that.
Yeah, no kids want that.
No kids want that.
No adults want them.
Right. Huh?
I like those and all.
I actually like them.
I like them now.
It was just funny to see like.
Would you pick them over Lifesaver gummies?
Oh, heck no. Heck no.
even though this is not lifesavers.
But what was interesting to me was like how everything becomes a way to sell. Like even something like that. But this is how like corporate interests can come in and ruin stuff. Because imagine next year the other house that had the maze. What if I don't know, Raisinets or whoever comes, wants to compete and is like, no, now we're gonna do, and then it just ruins the whole vibe because it's more of a community thing where you could see like everybody loves doing this every year. It kind of like became this life of its own kind of thing where everyone comes there from different neighborhoods to experience the decorations, and people do all these elaborate things in their yards. They like drop stuff from the trees to scare you, like when you're walking, like they go all out. But then you see these corporate interests coming in and trying to capitalize on it, and it feels like all right, this is how it gets ruined. You know what I mean? Yeah. Which is interesting. But all that to say, we were talking about there's a controversy surrounding Halloween, of course, especially coming from like Christian background. Why does my mic sound so much louder than everyone else? Yeah. Is my gain up way higher than theirs?
Yeah, slightly. I'll turn that down.
Okay.
It's a little black knob in the corner it was like tiny. So.
Yeah. I don't want to hear your excuses, Kyle.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, but so I remember you were saying conversations that you had like with mom and certain other people. Before we get to that though, I don't know if Junior's still watching. You talked about the you talked about the pillowcase full of candy, and it just reminded me of when we were kids and Junior went trick or treating with Lenny from our neighborhood. Y'all know these people from the stories we've always told. And when like the bad kids jumped them for their candy, and of course Junior, y'all know his track record. That dude threw his pillowcase in the air and just took off. But Lenny wanted to be smart and wrapped it around his arm and just got the crap beat out of him because he would not let go of his bag of candy. But it just made me think about that. So if Junior's watching, he can have a laugh at that because we used to talk about that all the time. But yeah, so even, and I noticed on because there's a bunch of Christian people on YouTube that I follow, that I watch their videos, like Marcus Rogers, Ruslan, who's the other guy with the glasses? I forget his name, but there's a bunch of people.
Pastor Mike.
Yeah,
that dude.
Yeah, that dude. Lance Warnall, all these people that I watch. But I noticed with like Marcus Rogers and Ruslan and a couple other people, they were like having this debate, but not directly at each other. Just like one would make a video, then the other one would make a video about like.
Well, I think they were actually like, they were talking off, not on camera, off camera, like messaging back and forth. Yeah, they talked off camera about it, but then on camera they were like making their own videos about, because Marcus Rogers was making the statement about like, Christians are stupid who celebrate Halloween because you have all of these, ex-witches and warlocks that like were deep into the occult that have literally explained why you shouldn't celebrate this holiday because of the origins, where it comes from, what the meanings are, and all of that. And, that's a valid point. But, we always talk about the origins of all these holidays that we follow, Christmas, Easter. All of these things come from, they have origins in pagan traditions and occult traditions as well. So there's a lot of parallels between all that stuff. So, me and Jake were talking about this yesterday, and you were explaining it in a really like concise way. So I wanted you to kind of touch on that a little bit. How was I explaining it?
I don't remember. You were just kind of talking about how like what were you saying to mom? Because mom was asking you about it.
Yeah, because my mom's like, I don't understand why you would celebrate Halloween, and I'm not. I said I'm not celebrating it because I'm taking 2 hours out of the day to have my kids go out and they're dressed up in their costumes, which there's parameters I have even there,
Now I'm just laughing because Junior responded. He said Lenny got pummeled, and he was like, "I'm black."
Yeah, so they're dressed up in their costumes, and it's 2 hours out of the day,
right?
And for me, like I always say, if you feel that way, then that's what you can go by.
If you feel convicted about not partaking in that, then you shouldn't partake.
And I do believe there should be. You can't just go into something blindly, you know, because that is dumb, you know, to just go all out. Like, should you be? I don't believe like celebrating is like, you know, you're being joyous in the whole thing,
right?
And because I'm going out there, I'm praying at the same time as I'm walking with my kids, you know,
right?
And there's a community aspect to it that I saw that I like.
And it was apparent in
there.
And you noticed that's
like,
what you was just talking about.
There's joy. People like giving kids like all this candy.
Yeah.
Oh, take 5, take this. You know, this.
You noticed how many people like
would come up.
Contact with.
We saw a bunch of people from the soccer team. But this is how the neighborhood also gets to know each other,
right.
And there becomes a community aspect of it that is important, you know. And I think it's like you said, if as long as you're not like, as long as you're not celebrating in the idea of like death and demons and like really,
if that's what. If you're drawn to that, there's a problem.
Right.
If you're drawn to the death aspect, if you're drawn to the witches, the warlock, if that stuff intrigues you, if that stuff is a lure to you, if you're passionate about that, then there's a problem, you know, because it's a door. And I do believe like you got to be cautious. You know, what is the purpose? And as a Christian, you can become too religious. And that's the thing. The issue I have sometimes with people who come from the world of witchcraft, right? Because it's like, okay, you know, because you came out of that,
right?
But I don't have to know what you know to know God. Like, if I know good, then all I got to do is know good, and I'm gonna see the evil, right? You don't discern evil by going and searching out evil and trying to figure everything out about evil. You know what I mean? You know evil when you know good.
Yeah.
You see good, and then eventually you'll start to see this is evil.
Right.
You know, and you become convicted like, yeah, maybe I shouldn't go there. And those are the parameters or the boundaries that you start to see in your life and respect.
Right.
So that respect and that honor and that fear of the Lord is something that's important. But I think people overstep when they're like, what are you doing, you idiot?
Yeah.
And then because you don't know the heart intent, you know, because I do believe that you can reach people and you can build in community with people, right? By just going out and, you know, going to people's houses, meeting people. Like there's something to that too,
right?
You know,
yeah. And I think I was telling you, Ruslan had a good point where he was talking about how. You got to watch when you take advice from people who slipped very far into something that they shouldn't have. You know what I mean? And he made the comparison of, you know, someone who was on my 600-pound life and then loses 400 pounds and now they're 200 pounds, but they're telling you how to eat. You know what I mean?
Right.
Or they're telling you like, oh, don't eat that candy, dude. That's nothing but sugar. You know, diabetes. You know, and it's like. All those things are true, and like you know because you went to the depths of that, and it affected you to a point where you almost died. Yeah. But the fact that you didn't have the self-control or you didn't understand the boundaries to have some candy and it not affect you in that way doesn't make you the right vessels for advice. Like if someone who understands nutrition properly would be more, you know, someone who you would look to for advice on that. Someone who struggled with that is like, yeah, you can't partake in it because that's a slippery slope for you. You know what I mean? Like it's something that might cause you to stumble. But the average person, as long as they're like not going crazy, they can have a piece of candy, a cookie here or there, you know.
Wine.
Right. Same thing with wine. There's people that can't drink it. And he made that comparison about himself. Like he doesn't drink alcohol because of his struggles in the past, and his mom was alcoholic. You know what I mean? So he's like, I know that I can't, but it doesn't mean that you can't. You know what I mean? And I'm not going to be the one to tell you can't because
you have to know. Like if you see there's an issue, then you shouldn't do that. You shouldn't go there in those things. Why you got to recognize, like, if I'm doing Halloween and it's like, I love Halloween. See, because the thing is with me, like, I hate Halloween.
Right.
I hate, I don't hate the day.
Right.
I just hate like everything about it, the core of it. Right.
Yeah.
But so I'm not doing this for me. My kids want to dress up. I know the feeling because our mom kept us from dressing up, and I wanted to dress up, and we dressed up at one time, but now we can't dress up anymore. So it's like that whole thing is like, no, my kids, they can dress up, and that's fine. It's just that they know, like, I set parameters. You know, I don't let them watch any scary movies. I don't let them watch any Halloween stuff.
Right.
I don't let them get intrigued into any of that stuff. Right. If they wanna, they like my son likes Spider-Man. Want to dress up like Spider-Man? Okay. But even with that, like we go into that because we're like, I talk about the Giants, and I talk about, like, if you really think about it, Spider-Man is really not a hero. Like, we talk about all these things. Right. So it's like, even in that, like, there's parameters they start to see.
They're like, I can't just watch Spider-Man. Here he go.
No, but the thing is, like, they're asking me questions about these. Right. What are the Giants? What are this? You know, we're not going to get into all that. But my point is, like, so we start talking about this stuff because they're intrigued about it, and then I'll bring in, like, the superheroes, and then they'll start to see it in a different way, and they're like, oh wow, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But it's more of an encouragement thing than like no,
right?
Because when you do that, people want to do it,
right?
Yeah, you know what I mean? It's passion, like, and
it's easy for anyone to poke holes in all of that. You know what I mean? It's easy for anybody to just be like, that doesn't make sense. You know what I mean?
Right.
When you're just like, no, it's the devil, blah, blah. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like,
I mean, there's certain things that, like, we're not going to watch those movies. We're not. Because if you keep on watching, that's what you desire, then eventually you let that in, right? That's a difference. You're opening a door because the door is to your heart.
Right.
So that's different. It's your desire, you know? But yeah, I like what Ruslan was saying about it. And there is a spiritual aspect to it. But one thing that I know, first of all, Halloween means holy, right? Hallow.
Yeah.
It's connected to holy. And then ween is eve. So it's the eve of this holy day for them. So even in that, like, God made every day.
Right. That was another good point you made.
Yeah. So God, you can reconcile the day back to God. Like, and that's my thing with, like, Christian. I'm not going to be a part of this. Like this is taking part in my community. I'm not going to step out and interject, you know, in that.
Yeah.
And speak to people in a way where I'm building relationship with them, right? I'm not going to let them have that.
That's what's been wrong with the church, right? That's what we talk about that all the time.
Right.
Staying in their own.
Staying away, you know, not going into the world. Like, and building your own culture. But there's been the reason why, like, think about the reason why that gets the way it gets is because you separate yourself from culture.
Right. Yeah.
Now it's like that. If I go to somebody and, like, yo, that's the devil, and they're not even a Christian,
right,
look at me like I'm crazy.
Yep.
But if I can build a bridge, right, and that takes time, right?
Yeah.
Because they've set something in their culture, and in order to cultivate, they got to trust me.
Right.
Right? Because that's where cultivation comes from.
But they won't trust you unless you establish a relationship with them first.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right. And so that whole bridge building thing is where I think we've been lacking because we don't know how to do it.
Absolutely.
You know, and we got to trust God.
Shout out to James. James just commented. He said, very good point. We are taking advice from people who took it to the extreme. Yeah. And, you know, a lot of times we look at that and we're like, oh, look, this person was so deep and now they came to Christ. So they're telling us, you know what I mean? Who's the guy that they use as an example all the time?
John Ramirez.
John Ramirez, right.
Which, he was like heavy into the code, did some crazy stuff. And he knows a lot, but that doesn't make him an expert in what God is doing.
Right.
You know, and
he's an expert in what not to do.
I'm not coming against, like, because I like the dude. I'm not coming against, but I'm just saying, like, like you might be an expert in one thing, but not expert in another thing.
Yeah.
You know, and certain things you got to know. Like just because, like again, just because you came out or just because you lost weight doesn't make you an expert.
Right.
You know, and there's a lot of stuff that goes on.
Yeah.
In those parameters, and you might have learned something, right? But you haven't learned it all.
You learned simple boundaries.
Right.
You know, you didn't learn the fullness of what nutrition is. You know what I mean?
Right.
I don't know if it's because we've gotten older, but yeah, it feels like the death grip of course, there's people who love that side of Halloween and they celebrate that. But it feels like to me that the death grip that death had on Halloween, like it was all scary. It was all bring that spirit up.
Right.
But now you can get a happy pumpkin.
Right.
You can dress up as a superhero.
Right. Something
as
goofy.
opposed to, you know, death.
Right.
Yeah, definitely the meaning has changed.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
It doesn't hold the same weight.
Right.
Yeah.
Of course, it like there's still, you know, witchcraft is done on that day, and there's still stuff. Right. And if you don't know it, and you just allow it to happen, stuff is going to happen to you.
Yeah.
So it's more underlying.
Yeah.
But it's still there.
And it's a big money grab.
Yes, it is.
Yeah.
But there was something that I was talking to actually Wilmer about this earlier. Because he was speaking about the jester, and I brought this up to you, I think, right? The jester.
Yeah.
And
Court jester.
it's kind of interesting. Like, this is what happens in culture too. Like, you do something in jest, right? And it's something that you should really honor, right? But eventually, like, so the whole point of the jester was, especially in the time of this guy Nimrod, right?
Yeah.
He would get people to make light of things through this jesting, right? This jester, so that the things that they feared and they honored, they'd mock it, so that it wouldn't hold as much weight in fear.
And you still see that happening to this day.
Right.
With anything that needs to be discredited is like, that's what late night TV is.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. And in like it can be both ways. Like you can make jest of what people fear, right? That they shouldn't fear.
Or make jest of what people just do unknowingly in order to break them out of that spell of just like, why do I do that?
Yeah.
You know?
Right.
Yeah.
So it's not like it's bad. It's just how is it
used? Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. So, keeping on the Halloween, we were talking about the Twix commercial because you got a bunch of Twix here, and I was pretty mad at you for that.
I didn't know about the Twix.
So, Jake said he didn't see the Twix commercial, so I'm just going to play.
I already cheated, and I looked at the title of it.
I'm gonna put a divider between y'all,
yeah,
man.
You know, this guy's always. First of all, I want you to tell me, besides this first graphic here, where you see Twix in this commercial. Okay.
Everywhere.
Twix presents Bite Size Halloween.
Hi. I'm your new nanny.
I don't need a nanny.
Well, your parents seem to think you do.
So just
What's your
breaking and
favorite
entering.
color?
Yeah.
Black.
Other than black.
First of all, where are her parents?
Yeah.
Oh, his parents. I'm sorry, that's a little boy.
Oh, that's a boy?
Charcoal.
Why are you all dressed up? It's not Halloween yet.
Can I help you?
Are you a good witch or a bad witch?
Do you want to find out?
Threatening children. Nothing wrong to see here.
Nothing.
You buckled?
I'm still wearing my princess dress.
Do you want to wear it?
Little rainbow symbology there.
You, princess. You look like a girl. Why are you wearing that?
Dressing like this makes me feel good.
Is that your nanny? She looks weird. You look weird. Your nanny looks weird. You guys are both weird.
No, we're just different.
This is totally real, guys. This always happens.
Whoa!
Whoa! Where is it coming from?
Hurting children.
We should go.
And
Will you
committing
come
a
back?
crime and running
Probably.
away.
Come on.
That's a real commercial.
Twix presents.
Yeah.
That's
was
a
no Twix.
That's a statement. Like,
That's what I'm saying.
She
But
murdered that kid?
yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, yo, she literally murders a kid and then flees the scene. And it's like okay, because he said mean things. We're fine with this.
Right.
Like,
and,
it's
and the
like-
way to handle it, is
right.
not love, right?
Through violence, right.
Through witchcraft,
Right.
Because she's protecting the boy girl.
Yeah. That so
okay.
you said that's why I was like, yo, get them Twix out of here, man.
Yeah, we can burn those now.
All right, so moving on. Kyle's just covering his face. These guys. All right, so in this week's rendition of "What's Up with Joe Biden,"
What's up with Joe Biden?
I know, did you guys see the clip from the climate change summit?
Yeah, I did.
Okay.
That's how Stan gets sometimes.
Yo, this was like, so he's at the
Yep.
climate change summit where they're talking about all the important things that we need to do to save our planet from destruction. And here's our president. He is just gone, baby. And then you know they saw it happening, so the handler comes over and is like,
One of his aides.
yeah, he's like, here he comes. Yo, he's gone.
At least he's holding the setup.
He's like, sir, oh yes, and then watch when he walks away. This is what Arya does too. You be like, Arya, were you sleeping? No, I was awake the whole time. Watch. She's like, yes, everyone, we are, yes. Oh, so
That's the guy you voted for.
No, I did not.
that is at the G20
Did
summit.
you say you voted for him?
No, I never said that.
No, he didn't say that. This was yesterday, by the way, guys. So you know,
Yeah, the climate, the big old climate summit that they're having.
Yep.
Well, Trump wouldn't have went. So
That's true. That's true.
Well, you know who wasn't there?
Who?
China, Russia.
Of course they weren't there. Of course they weren't there. They don't give a damn about the climate. They're like, yeah, you dummies do that. Go ahead.
Yeah.
Go ahead and restrict all of your
Coal
industry,
fire, yeah.
all that stuff. We're going to keep doing what we do, and we're going to pass all y'all. Like, yeah.
I mean, but there is a level. Like,
Oh yeah, the
You know what I mean?
corporate greed and all of that. Yeah, there's,
Yeah.
you know, you can't just
'cause
willy nilly out here.
yeah, you
You can't freaky diggy.
Yeah,
they're doing all kinds of stuff like
dumping
polluting.
waste
Yeah.
in
China is like crazy
Yeah.
right now with all that.
That's crazy.
So there's definitely like a line, like, but they take it too far to decline. What's happened? The climate is changing. Like, come on, y'all don't know none
Yeah.
of that stuff. Like, do we need to take care of our environment? Absolutely.
right.
Yeah.
But the way they twist it is the issue. Again, same thing with Halloween. Like, you know what I mean? Like, this is what happens. Like, they'll take something and they'll just
And
run
how
with
can we
it.
use this to push an agenda? You know, that's what the plan is with this whole Great Reset, Build Back Better, all that stuff.
Yeah.
And we know this, but of course the media will cover for this. They're not going to show us this stuff. We only see it because it's on Twitter, on C-SPAN, on stuff that they can't hide, and people share it. But the media is not going to show this. They're going to cover up for it. I already seen fact checks about, was Biden actually sleeping? No, mostly, well, partly true, mostly
Right.
false. Like, they can never just be honest.
We
Yes.
can look and we don't need a
Yeah.
fact
See,
check.
Listen,
Right.
I fall asleep and I ain't as old as he is.
Yeah, right.
I'll be 9 off.
I'd probably fall asleep.
I
at
would
that.
fall asleep at that too. Well, yes, we all would fall asleep if we were there.
I
But it's like,
yeah.
yo, just be honest
Just
about
be
it.
honest. Like, yeah, he fell asleep.
Yeah, it's boring.
Now,
what?
a question. I don't know if you're talking about this later on or if you have it lined up, but I saw a bunch of things on the internet this past weekend that he might have pooped himself at the Vatican.
We're going to talk about it. We're going to talk about it.
All right, I'm just making sure.
No, that definitely happened. That was trending on Twitter. We might as well just talk about it. So yesterday, right? Was it yesterday or Sunday? I think it was yesterday. Okay. Maybe it started Sunday into yesterday, but I opened up Twitter and I saw trending Poopgate, #Poopgate, and hashtag
President Poopy Pants.
Poopy Pants Biden. Poopy Pants Biden.
I think he and Al Roker need a support group.
So what happened was apparently he was meeting with the Pope at the Vatican and everything, and one of the things that he was supposed to do, they canceled last minute and cut it short. And no one could get in touch with him, and they didn't have any real explanation for it. And then somehow it got out to the media, not our media, the other media sources were saying that he had basically pooped in his pants. And
how did it get out? That's they got
somebody inside.
Somebody
pressure.
How did it get out?
And it got out.
Yeah, right.
No, it was a mess.
Something
contained himself.
My point is, somebody ain't with him.
Who's
with him?
Right. Someone who he thinks is with him isn't with him.
Yeah.
But they probably got, I got some info. Let me see some money.
Yeah. But they're trying to cover that up too, man. I saw so many people on Twitter, trying to make it seem like you're wrong for even talking about this, like they do with everything. I wanted to show this video because
shout out to Paul.
What did Paul say?
Our good old friend, Paul Horn.
What's up, Paul? What'd he say? Poor old guy can't breathe in that mask. Yeah, man.
Pope poop.
So let me show this video, guys, because I saw this on Twitter and I was like, it reminded me of something that I've shown before.
I'm Fox San Antonio's Jessica Headley.
And I'm Ryan Wolf.
Our greatest responsibility is to serve our Treasure Valley communities,
The El Paso, Las Cruces communities,
Eastern Iowa communities,
Mid-Michigan communities.
We are extremely proud of the quality, balanced journalism that CBS 4 News produces.
But
we are concerned about trouble and trend of irresponsible, one-sided news stories plaguing our country.
The sharing of biased and false news has become all too common on social media. More alarming, some media outlets publish these same fake stories without checking facts first.
The sharing of biased and
false news has become all too common on social media.
More alarming, some media outlets publish these same simply aren't true without checking facts first.
Unfortunately, that's so creepy.
Use their platforms to push their own personal bias and agenda to control exactly what people think. And this is extremely dangerous to our democracy.
this is extremely.
They're literally talking about what they're doing.
You know what's interesting? The last one, it was all the Fox.
Yeah.
Local, but this one is CBS.
Yeah.
Fox.
Right.
CBS. I heard a laugh.
Of course,
and I did say I said CBS.
Kyle can't let that go.
I said CBS, but I knew it sounded like CBS. So,
but the reason why I'm playing that is because people don't understand how corporatized news agencies have really tried to funnel the talking points and the narrative in one direction, and they're giving these directives. That was all a script that they all had to read about misinformation on the internet.
You know what I mean? You lose your job.
Yeah, so it's we're all taught to believe that this is just the news. That they're just telling us what's happening. No, these people
are feeding you.
They're feeding you. They're hurting you.
Yeah, it's like the start of a movie, before the opening titles,
right?
But some kind of weird news-related dystopian future.
Yeah.
But that's what the point of word is. It's to feed you, right?
Yeah.
And so it's if you don't go to God, you're going to get it from somewhere.
Yeah.
Yeah. So where are you getting it
What
from?
are you eating?
What are you eating?
Yeah.
Eating this junk? Nobody wants any candy. Y'all stole some of Noe's candy.
So
I'm not gonna let that Snickers.
In the latest Let's Go Brandon news, we talked about this in our group thread. Have you heard about the Southwest Let's Go Brandon? Have you been hearing about the Let's Go Brandon?
My father had texted me about it. I had no idea what he was talking about.
Really?
You don't know?
Yeah.
You don't know about Let's Go Brandon?
No.
Wow.
But nice toss. Thank you, by the way.
That is
Nice
interesting.
catch.
Well, Let's Go Brandon is a meme that started a few weeks ago because people at like sporting events or big gatherings have been breaking out in these
chants.
F Joe Biden chants.
Started in colleges.
Let's Go Brandon started the NASCAR.
Right.
Yeah.
So so at a NASCAR race where the winner of the NASCAR race name was Brandon.
Brandon something.
I don't remember. Sorry for this guy. Like, it's so sad that like his whole win got overshadowed by this, but he won the race. And as the reporter is interviewing him, she's talking about the race, and everyone is screaming in the background, F Joe Biden. It's like, so she can't ignore it. She's like, the crowd is screaming right now, and they're chanting, and then she goes, they're saying, let's go Brandon, because she doesn't want to like say what they're really saying.
That's what this is.
Started the whole meme.
Yeah, the internet exploded.
So the internet just took that, and everywhere you see Let's Go Brandon, people made T-shirts. There's 3 songs on iTunes now.
Sure.
One of them, the one with the one that hit number 1 on iTunes. It's number 28 on the Hot 100 right now.
Wow.
On Billboard.
Wow.
That says something.
So let me guess, because I'm coming into this cold, but the Let's Go Brandon thing is like an example of media censorship for the anti-Biden words, or
well,
movements?
what it is it's just a way to say F Joe Biden without saying it, so you can't be censored.
Oh,
you see what I'm saying? Because they can censor you if you say that.
Okay, so it's a way to get your point across without actually saying it,
right?
Gotcha.
But
it's
also
popular because of the meme,
right?
It became a meme
because it's something funny to say to get that point across without being vulgar. Even though the hypocrisy of it that people point out all the time is that people were saying F Trump for 4 years and no one cared. They were applauding it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So
that's why my dad's a fan of this.
Yeah.
It's a jest again.
Yeah, right. It is. But so the latest example of this was a couple of days ago. A reporter for the AP, the Associated Press, right, was on a Southwest flight, and claimed that the pilot, when they landed, came on the intercom and announced the weather and everything, and then signed off saying, "Let's go, Brandon." And she was extremely pissed off, and tried to get into the cockpit to talk to this guy and give him a piece of her mind. Then she wrote like an article about it, and then everybody went crazy on Twitter saying we need to find this guy, and they're tweeting at Southwest saying he needs to be fired. Hold on, I think I have an article on that here.
Wow.
Yeah. So Southwest launches internal investigation into Let's Go Brandon incident. And I wanted to show you guys this too, because I meant to play this last week because this had been getting so out of control that they tried to get ahead of it in a weird way. I don't know if you guys saw this.
Who, Southwest?
No, the Biden White House. So they did this like stunt where they interviewed a disabled guy named Brandon, right?
Wow.
To try to get ahead of this. Because they wanted to like use it as like, if you're saying it, you're attacking, you know what I mean? Right. So like they staged this whole thing. Like, I'm gonna play it real quick so you can see. So the dude's name is Brandon.
Brandon, could you do me a favor and tell the president what you've told me and so many other people about what Lynn means to you for your care?
Without her, I would not be able to have the life that I have, and there are thousands of people like me every day who, without these wonderful people that welcome me, would not be able to live the life that they live. They give us a substantial life.
And they give you hope.
And I thank you so much for the Build Back Better plan. And
I thank you so much for the Build Back Better plan. He wasn't told to say that. But it was just sad to me watching this, because it's like, yo, they will stop at nothing to try to spin a narrative. Like, what are the chances that you do a photo op with a disabled guy named Brandon when this thing is taking off like this? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So they tried to do that. It didn't work. So it turns out
to say a joke, but I can't do it.
Yeah, no, it's not like that's just sad.
That's
just
sad,
sad that
dude.
you would do that. But so Kyle, just to pick up from the Southwest thing, so it turns out that the pilot said, "Let's go Braves," because the Braves are in the World Series right now.
Right. Were they landing in Atlanta?
I think so.
All right.
So it wasn't even that.
I'm sorry. That video pissed me off.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
It should.
It really.
It should.
Yeah,
it's pretty much.
It really
But
put me in a mood.
Even if, he said, "Let's go, Brandon," why are you so triggered that you,
dude? Because
would just
because people are 100% hypocrites. Like everyone was showing the clip of Robert De Niro at the Tony Awards saying, "I'm just gonna say F Donald Trump," and like didn't censor it. And everyone stood up and gave him a standing ovation. They played it on TV. People were showing all the tweets of everyone who said, this Southwest pilot needs to be fired. But then right next to that, their same person tweeting F Donald Trump. You know what I mean? And this has been going on since the Let's Go Brandon thing started. All of these companies are, I think, one article. It was NPR wrote a article saying like, no one is actually cheering on someone named Brandon. This is a alt-right slander term towards.
It's alt-right.
It's only freedom of speech when it benefits you,
right?
Or what you believe or what you're into.
But it's like even something that's not offensive, it's a meme, they want to censor it because it's taken on a life of its own. Like I said, that song beat out Adele. There was three different Let's Go Brandon songs in the top 10 on iTunes at the same time. One of them was in the number 1 spot, one of them was in the number 2 spot, and then the one that is number 1 now is climbing up the Hot 100 charts.
That's crazy.
Yeah. So I thought that was a funny story because like people were going crazy on Southwest, tweeting at them. They were doing an internal investigation, and then people released the audio, and turns out that it wasn't even true.
Someone was recording audio at this moment.
Yeah, people are always filming. I guess the plane was landing, someone was filming it or whatever.
Oh, and I just arrived in Atlanta type of thing.
Yeah, and you could hear the pilot say, "Let's go Braves." But, when you're triggered by "let's go" and, you know what I mean?
Oh, he said like, she was already ready. Let's go.
She was ready for it.
Let's go, bro.
Yeah.
That's
the first 3 letters.
Yeah. Let's see what we got. Anthony says, so most media outlets get their news from off the wire. Yes. My mom said Kamala Harris isn't with him. I don't know what she means.
Talking about Biden, I guess.
Oh, at the G20? I don't think so.
Nah, she's not there.
She's nowhere. But what is she doing? She's playing. She's playing pretend with the kids.
Making fake
12-year-old kids, and you're gonna be on the moon.
Yeah, making fake videos with kids. The only time you get real news is when it happens locally. Yeah, that's true too. All right, so moving on. Why did I just remove that one? I wanted to show y'all this. Y'all heard about Facebook changing the name?
Yeah. No. What was the name?
Meta.
It sounds Meta. It sounds crazy.
It's called Meta. If you think that's crazy, so I mean, it's already weird because Zuckerberg is such a strange. He's such a strange, someone.
Meta world piece.
Yeah, metaverse. So people were putting up memes
world piece.
The basketball player Meta world piece.
People were putting up memes of Data from Star Trek and Zuckerberg next to it, and be like, which one is more of more of an AI? But I just want to show y'all they did a whole video campaign. Just watch a little bit of this and tell me this is a normal person.
Does it? Yo, he looks weird.
Oh, I saw this. So let's start by exploring what different kinds of metaverse experiences could feel like, starting with the most important experience of all, connecting with people.
Because I totally know how to do that in real life.
Imagine you put on your glasses or headset and you're instantly in your home space. It has parts of your physical home recreated virtually, it has things that are only possible virtually, and it has an incredibly inspiring view of whatever you find most beautiful.
Hey, are you coming?
Yeah, just gotta find something to wear.
Dude, this is Black Mirror, bro.
Perfect.
This is Black Mirror.
Oh, hey, Mark. Hey, what's going on?
Hi.
Mark. What's up, Mark? Whoa, we're floating in space? So let's start by exploring.
I just wanted to show you that clip. I love when everyone's just silent. Like I have nothing to say.
I mean, what was going on there?
So I guess like the metaverse concept is incorporating the Oculus VR with Facebook, but like so it augments your actual reality. Like you can.
Oculus is a brand, right, of like VR systems, something like that. Okay.
Yeah, but it's owned by
It's
Facebook.
the glasses thing that you put on.
It's like the
Player One.
No, but I've seen Black Mirror.
Yes, it's Black Mirror, bro. Like,
If you've seen Radio
Yo, he
Player
looks
One,
so
it's the same
weird.
concept.
Yo, that dude look weird. He
he
looks like an
doesn't-
alien.
He doesn't act like a normal. Like he's even the way he's moving. He's like,
He's a
have you
cyborg.
seen? I communicate with actual human beings in real life. Like, it's like
He's an alien, yo.
it's like you ever see that video with him in front of Congress where like, when he was with the memes of him trying to drink water. Yeah, but that was weird. Okay, so then keeping on the Halloween topic, The View.
Everybody's favorite show.
You seen this?
I seen it.
The View
I didn't see this.
keeps the narrative going
I heard the audio.
with their Halloween special.
As you know, there are some people who have been taking horse dewormer as medicine for COVID treatment. Alert, horse dewormer has not been approved by the FDA as a treatment or preventative measure for COVID-19. In addition, our poor horses are the ones being affected by this. Yeah. There's no horse dewormer, so they're covered in worms.
How do you work that into a kid's Halloween costume?
We made them gummy worms.
Yo, you guys are stupid. And
While he's trick-or-treating, he could just, eat as he goes along. And he was such a good sport. He was so cute. And it's one of these great inflatable.
That's the jest.
yo,
That's the
yeah,
jest.
that's what I'm saying.
That's
But it's
the
like
jest.
people just believe it. It's yo.
You really think people are
They
taking
give
horse
like
dewormer,
they give like animal versions of the medicine that we take.
Most
so,
medications
so there's
are also prescribed for animals.
exactly.
Even like Xanax and like
Yeah.
like ibuprofen and stuff. Like
But people that don't like do their own research, they're gonna just believe all this.
yeah.
Compliance, man.
So I wanted to tie that
Compliance.
I wanted to tie that into this video that I saw about the FDA trying to get vaccines approved for small children, and this statement is terrifying. So just watch this.
But we're never going to learn about how safe the vaccine is unless we start giving it. That's just the way it goes. But we're never going to learn about how safe the vaccine is unless we start giving it. That's just the way it goes.
Y'all heard that, right?
We're never gonna learn anything about vaccines.
We're never going to learn how safe the vaccine is until we start giving it.
So
And he's
the kids
talking
just
about
start
children.
dying,
He's talking about
and they're
children.
like, oh, it's not safe.
Right.
They just
Oh, we
killed-
learned,
they
guys.
killed 1,000
We
kids.
learned.
Yeah.
We learned.
Dang.
Yep.
What was
But
the
that's
guy's
just like-
response?
I don't know.
Oh,
because
they're all for it.
Yeah.
Nobody combated him on that call. It's a Zoom call between them.
Because
Oh,
like
buddy.
Even
science, that's the thing. Like these people, they're impassioned by science. Right?
Yeah.
And I think that's the issue. Like we were talking about Halloween earlier, right? The doors are where the fire is. And what does that mean? Like when you look at the temple of God, right?
Yeah.
What's before the temple? It's an altar
Mhm.
with fire, right?
Right.
And it's about going to the right altar,
Mhm.
right? And you look at it like a husband and a wife, right? Passion. When
Yeah.
you when a wife goes to her husband, she's going to a fire, right? Even in the Hebrew, it comes from the word fire, a man and a woman,
Mhm.
right? Ish and Isha come from the word Esh, right?
Mhm.
So you got to go before the fire before you can go into that domain, that door, and before you can enter into that realm, right?
Right.
And this is what's happening. So people are caused what you just showed with the Facebook thing, right? Meta, world, verse, whatever.
Metaverse, yeah.
So what is you're entering into something. So what is he doing? He's enticing you, right, through a fire to get you to go into the door, right. But you don't know what's in that door until you get in there. We were talking about this earlier, like movements are started by fire, right. A movement starts by passion, and people, they have to get you impassioned for something, right? Yep. That's what starts a movement. So they're movements of God, but there's counter movements, right? Look at like the hippie movement, woke movement right now. On the surface, these things look good.
Yeah.
Until you enter in. And when you're in it, you start seeing this ain't what I thought it would be, right? It's different with God. When you enter in, it's greater than you thought it would be.
Right.
And that's the point. Because movements define words. Or our movements can redefine words.
Right.
You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So everything you think love, right? Hippie movement redefines it.
Love, peace.
Right? But then what happens is when you get in it, you realize like it's really just about sex. And then it's perverted sex. And then a whole lot of stuff, vile stuff, is allowed to hide under the cover of this love movement.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? That's what wickedness does. So if you go to the wrong fire because you're enticed by it, that's all God is saying. Don't go to those fires. Right? Don't allow yourself to be opened up to those doors so that you might walk into that temple, right? Don't give yourself over to sacrifice yourself to that thing, right? These are the things we have to pay attention to, and you're seeing this over and over again. And the reason why I'm saying this by this little clip is because this man who's saying this thing is all the way in this realm, right? This door, because he doesn't even see what he's saying. He can't see it because he's in, right? His passion is for the science that he went in probably when he was a teenager or something, right? Got enticed in. Well, how'd you get there? Oh, well, when I was a kid, I got into chemistry. However, and then there's a start to it, right? And it just leads you more and more and more and more into it. I'm not saying science is bad. What I'm saying is that what happens is it's the passion that the enemy will take you through, right? Using that passion and just twisting it to for his own good. And then when you're in it, you start doing things that are ludicrous.
And that is a perfect segue into this next thing I wanted to show y'all. Because you're talking about science, you're talking about the passion that will take you. This is a Twitter channel that I've been following lately too. Twitter profile. It's called Alex Jones Was Right. So like all they do is find stuff that like solidify something that he said in the past that he got demonized for. And this is literally an article about human animal hybrids. The Senate approves billions of dollars for their chilling creation. So in the article it says, after a long debate, the Senate approved 68 to 32 votes a budget of $250 billion to continue with the controversial creation of hybrid beings by mixing humans and animal genetic material.
No.
The bill, called the Endless Frontier Act, was introduced by Senate Majority Leader Chuck Schumer.
Wow.
Chuck
Schumer. Chuck Schumer.
Site on June 14th.
What did Donald Trump call him?
What did he call him? I don't know. Did he have a name for it? No, that was Adam Schiff. He called,
He
called pencil neck.
Pencil neck Schiff.
Yeah, shifty and shifty shit.
Oh no.
But yeah, dude, exactly what you're saying.
This is not real.
You think it's not real, bro?
That's Endless Frontier. I think is a part.
Is that
Gates is a part of that?
Is he in that? I wouldn't be surprised.
Like this is what they're using.
But they're telling you what they're doing. Like Endless Frontier.
Yep.
It's never satisfied.
Nope.
Like it's endless. You'll never be satisfied by this. You're gonna have to do more and more. Oh, we did this. Oh, we got to do more. We got to do this. You know?
And it's all in the name of science. It's all in the name of the frontier. Right? It's like space exploration. The what is it? The final frontier.
Yeah.
The final frontier.
Can we take that $250 billion to help the homeless, feed them.
That was something funny too that I saw on Twitter. I was going to bring it up, but I had so much stuff that Elon Musk kind of. Did you see that?
Yeah.
Where he kind of like shoved someone from the UN. Said something about Elon Musk about if he gave 2% of his net worth to the homeless, or no, to the hungry, he would solve world hunger, and it ends up being $6 billion. Yeah. And Elon Musk was like, he tweeted back, he said, I will sell the shares of Tesla right now and give that money if you can prove to me how that would solve world hunger. Like, prove it to me. Right. And then people were showing like all these tweets about how the UN raised like $30 billion for world hunger last year. So if you couldn't solve it with that $30 billion, you want his 6? Like,
right.
You know.
Yeah, they didn't respond to him though, right?
No, they didn't respond. They didn't respond.
They don't want no trouble.
He was like, sit down with me and prove to me how $6 billion could end world hunger, and I'll give it to you. Yeah. You know what I mean?
But these things all sound good in theory.
Yeah.
You know, that's what happens.
Right.
It's like none of these things have been tested.
Nope.
You know what I mean? They just say it, and then it's like, oh, I got to back it up now. You know?
How to lie with statistics, because you can put all those numbers together mathematically and say this is how much it would cost, but realistically, there's so much more. It's like people used to say all the time, like, oh, there's all these abandoned houses, just give them to the homeless. Sounds good in theory. Sounds good in theory, but it don't work that way. No.
How does animal-human hybrid sound good in theory?
I mean, dude.
What is their explanation?
You have to be down that road.
Yeah.
Again, what do we say? There's a door, right? And you have to enter in, and little by little, you start to think in that way.
So, but I'd like to see that conversation though. Like, what are they like?
I'm gonna tell you right now, it's gonna be well, if we can develop a genetic code where we can grow human livers and hearts inside of a pig, then when someone needs a transplant, it can be easily provided, and they want to have waiting lists for, you know what I mean? This is the train of thought that they take, and it's gonna cure Alzheimer's, because then we'll be able to do testing on a human brain.
That's just the way they project it to you.
That's how they open that. That's the fire. Right. That's that fire.
But what I'm saying is the ones that are already in it, they're just giving it to you in a way where you can handle it.
Right.
They already know that it's not about that, right?
They just want to do some stuff.
Because island of Dr. Moreau somewhere.
Exactly.
Something that's a little disgusting, and if you got kids around, you know, I would
go to bed.
I would take them away right now. But so me and Jamie, we came across this podcast called Root of Evil, right? And it's about the Black Dahlia murders, so kind of,
but also like Hollywood elitism,
right?
Like,
connected to this guy George Hodel, who was a surgical gynecologist, all this stuff, in like the 40s, 50s. So, and he was like hanging around all that Hollywood scene. He was heavy into art, heavy into surrealism, right?
Yeah. And we talked about that. Remember when we were talking about the 20s and how the 20s started surrealism in this country, and the surrealism painting is about surrealism art is about bringing the dream world into the real world,
and it's really about shock value.
You're right.
It's about shocking your system.
Yeah.
And that's what he was all about. And just one story, and it's nasty. But I'm going to tell it because this is what happens, and this is what artistry and cultivation and breaking barriers is about to them, right? Because there is a such thing as breaking barriers.
And keep in mind, this is the time where, you know, people were really heavy into Aleister Crowley. All of these people were
in that realm, because not in the country.
Yeah. I mean, like those people, like the people those Hollywood elites that he was mixing it up with, people that were like these super surrealist artists that all of their art was about, like, because the one guy that they were talking about, I looked up his art.
Yeah, Man Ray.
All his art is like this weird, like, you know, disfigured women, like body parts missing. Like he would configure people in weird ways and take pictures of them and make it look like they had no limbs. You know what I mean? Like just weird stuff.
Yeah.
And it's kind of like Helena Abramovich that we showed
That's
on
exactly
here.
Who I was thinking when you were talking.
Who she's into that weird
You
stuff.
mean
Marina. Marina Abramovich or whatever with the spirit.
You're thinking of Helena Blavatsky.
Blavatsky, yes.
Yeah.
Who is another occult leader from
earlier.
Yeah.
Late 1800s.
But she's with the elites. Abramovich is with the elites all the time too. There's pictures with her with Kim Kardashian, Lady Gaga, Jay-Z, Hillary Clinton, and she's into spirit cooking, and they do things like that too, where they do these parties where they'll have a cake it's a cake in the shape of a human body, and they're all cutting the cake and eating it, and then they'll have a human head on it, someone like under the table as a human head sitting there while they cut this cake.
Yeah, that's not weird, guys.
Yeah,
not at all.
and what is it? It's in jest, right?
Yeah.
But they're cultivating your senses, right? And that's what art is about. Art is about cultivation,
right?
And art is about sacrifice. Like every artist you have to sacrifice to really have your art come through. So sacrifice is connected to, again, like I was saying, the temple, the altar, right? So this is the way God has set it up, but the enemy just uses it for his own good.
Right. So tell a story.
So my point of bringing up Hodel is because there's a story that his daughter told that is very telling, and it's disgusting, but you got to hear it to understand how vile these people are, and they're looking further.
Right.
They're trying to break barriers. They're trying to shock themselves even, right?
Right.
Because they're trying to deal with the fear of their own conscience. They're trying to sear their conscience, right?
I feel like it's kind of off subject, but I feel like I'm watching Dragon Ball Z right now, and Goku is on the Snake Road because Jake keeps on not telling the story yet. I'm ready to hear the story. I'm like, what's the story?
But
like he's on the Snake Road forever.
Because you gotta understand the consciousness,
and
you
why.
have to.
And he's setting it up because he wants to give the groundwork for why he's even going into this story, because it's relevant to the idea of the mindset of certain people where their whole purpose is to push boundaries on reality past what most people can even comprehend, or whatever, so they're literally trying to desensitize themselves to just having any type of conscious or fears, you know what I mean? So
and so what he did and what she talked about and explained, she was basically, they had sex, his daughter, when she was 14, constantly, but when they first did it, she explained it, right? And she was explaining it in a like it's okay way,
right?
That's how, because of her mind was already in it, because she was already abused, right? So she was still in the mindset of like love is love. Like she became a hippie later on in life, right? So,
and they even described it like she would talk about it like almost like she revered him still, like she was he was her first love,
right? But her explanation of it is what got me, because she said, and did you hear this?
Yeah.
She said that when they were in the act, it was hard for him to get through it because he didn't want to really do it.
Right.
But he wanted to do it to sear his conscience and shock himself to go further and break through barriers.
Those boundaries that you set up in your, like when you tell yourself, this is something that we can't do. And the surrealists that they were talking about even said stuff like that. And certain psychologists from that time would write papers about how like it's really just only our fears that stop us from doing all the things that we want to do. And if a human can push past that, then they can reach a higher level of consciousness. Talking about how even murder is not a big deal. Incest is not a big deal. It's just once you can convince yourself to push past that mentally, and which is what he was trying to accomplish with that, which is like when you hear about like the sex magic from Aleister Crowley and all these things about raping little kids and stuff like that, a lot of times they're in the mindset of, I'm doing this to push myself to a higher level of consciousness.
To gain something.
To gain power.
To gain power, to gain authority. And so he's literally sacrificing, right? He's sacrificing. He's creating something.
And that's what the Black Dahlia murder was. Do y'all ever heard about the Black Dahlia murder?
I remember
they made a movie about that.
Yeah,
right?
they did make a movie about it. But just the way that he disfigured this body and the way he did it, it was like he wanted to shock the surrealists.
Yeah.
He wanted to say,
not
like,
the public, the surrealists.
This was like his way of making a real life art piece out of instead of like the photographer, instead of mocking it in photos, now I'm gonna do it for real, and I'm gonna even shock y'all. You know what I mean?
Right.
Yo, that's crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm saying this because this stuff is the craft.
Right.
Right? This is the craft. This is the artistry that is going on that gets people. Because think about it, this is in the 40s, right? This is in the 40s. These people are the people who start to run Hollywood, right? And then later on in life, now a lot of stuff becomes normal, right?
Right.
So what wasn't normal has to start somewhere, and it starts to somebody has to sacrifice, somebody has to be the gate for these things. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And this, of course, this is in one way. But so when we make light of these things and we don't understand what's going on, we're subject to it.
Yeah.
Right. So there's that play, and that goes back to what we were talking about with Halloween too.
Mm-hmm.
Right. You have people delving in witchcraft, which is connected to crafting their own environment, crafting their own realm.
Yeah.
Right. So that they can control. That's why it's pride, because all pride is you want to hold on to the thing that you think is going to help you in life. Right. So in order to hold on to it, you got to become more powerful, because it's all about my grip.
Mm-hmm.
How can I hold on to this thing? Right. That's what pride is about. But God is the opposite, because God's like, let it go.
Mm-hmm.
Give it to me. Right. The thing that you don't understand, where your frustration is your point of sacrifice to him. You give it to him and he'll give it back to you. Right? He'll give it back to you in a way where, so God breaks, it's the same thing. It's the same principle, right? It's just that one is leading you into death and destruction and evil, and the other one is leading you into life and new creation, right? And for so long, that world, the deaf world, that has been thriving, especially in America. But I think we're shifting now, into a different way. So you see how, like, if you're just afraid of that, right, and you don't want to deal with it, then it just thrives.
Mm-hmm.
And how do you deal with it? You don't deal with it by trying to figure it all out. Again, you deal with it by trusting the one who's able, because we're not able, really.
Yeah, you hear all this stuff we're talking about, and you start to, like Kyle said,
zone out. Right?
You're like, how do I live in this world?
Right.
That statement has been transformed many times in the 1 year since I've said it.
Yeah. I meant to play this too. We'll keep it moving along with the Southwest and the Let's Go Braves thing, because this is a video from the actual World Series. The whole stadium, bro.
It's a soccer game?
Oh, I thought this was... Oh, yeah, it's a soccer game. I thought it was a baseball game.
It's a lot of people.
Yeah.
Wow. Yo, the whole stadium.
Yo.
They did say that, though. Or chant that, because Trump was there.
This was that was at the World Series, yeah, when Trump was there. This is a funny meme. It says, 1950, we'll have flying cars in the future. 2000, still waiting on flying cars. 2021. Next at 10, PB&J sandwiches. Are they racist? PB&J.
I like to really see that that segment.
Yeah, I know, right? Are they racist?
What would you say the connection would be?
To them being racist?
Yeah. What conclusion could they draw up?
The bread is white.
It's on white bread.
White bread.
It's on white bread.
White bread. Most blacks can't afford peanut butter and jelly. So
maybe the two slices of white bread are keeping the brown peanut butter in.
Yeah, keeping it confined.
Yeah, confined
next to that sugary jelly, giving it diabetes.
Exactly.
Yeah. But I thought it was funny also because when we were kids in the 80s and 90s, we swore that we was going to have flying cars in the future too. Remember?
Yeah.
We used to say that all the time.
That's what Doc Brown said.
Because of Back to the Future.
Yeah. I mean, it's not too far off because I did see a bunch of articles on Twitter talking about how like a bunch of schools, a bunch of counties are banning Halloween because it's disproportionately affects black communities where they can't celebrate Halloween. It's like some weird. What are you talking about? Like it was like Halloween. We're not going to celebrate Halloween this year because blacks and browns can't participate. What?
Like, no, they just go to other. They go to other neighborhoods.
Yeah.
Speaking of races, did you guys watch the Colin Kaepernick Netflix thing?
And of course I didn't watch it. I saw some clips about it and it was just ridiculous.
I don't gotta watch that to know what it's about.
I turned on, you know how Netflix they do a scene, and it was a scene of him as a kid.
Yeah.
You know, getting pulled over by a cop with his two white parents.
Yeah.
In the car.
Oh, that's what that was.
He was driving?
He was driving. It was. He looked like he was, just got his license. And he was all nervous, and the cop was, being an a-hole. So
put your hands on
you
the
already
wheel.
know what it is.
Yeah.
Just from the one scene.
All right. Well, my mom wanted to know where Kamala was.
This is where Kamala.
I eat, and drink no for breakfast. Don't hear it.
I love it.
God bless you. May God bless America.
Yo.
I have a motto.
But wait, this is not what she actually said though, because it was so strange.
Yeah,
I have a motto. I eat and drink no for breakfast.
What? Eat and drink what?
No.
No. Or no?
No.
Okay.
First of all, she almost messed it up though.
I eat,
I eat and drink.
Someone thought that was a clever line.
Yeah.
What does that mean? She says no a lot, or she takes in a lot of no's? Like people say no to her.
I think she means like I don't know. It was terrible. It was terrible.
I love it, yo.
It was terrible. Yo.
I don't know what it means.
But I saw that I was crying when I was watching that. Cause
what was that?
That is hilarious.
The clip where that thing derived from? What
Randy Watson?
No, not Coming to America. Her actual speech.
He knows Coming to America. He doesn't embrace the.
I embrace what?
Of course, he knows that's Coming to America.
I've watched that about 17 million times.
Yeah.
But no, the speech that she was giving, was it that dry? Responded to? Or?
It wasn't that dry, but it definitely, like, what she was trying to do didn't work.
Okay.
And it was evident. Like, there was a couple people that clapped, but it was just like, it was clearly, they over exaggerated it by cutting in, Coming to America. But
clever.
But
clever.
that was the vibe. Like, when you watch it in real time, it was like, yeesh. Like, these people do not care what she's saying.
After the show, can you send me a clip of the actual speech so I can see?
I'll find it.
You don't have to do it
He
now.
act like he can't research it himself.
I know.
Like,
but he's got.
You was on the phone the whole time.
He's got the Rolodex of all the clips. I know. I can know he's the one-stop fun shop for all the things.
All right, so let's get on to some of the stuff. You sent me that clip of Kanye West. And yeah.
Yeah, it was just something. I don't know.
So
Ow, Jesus. And they wanna be me, yeah.
He's great, isn't he?
Yes, he is. I ain't even on TV yet. Playboy like Cardi.
What is this?
I must have missed this.
What?
Thank you for your Holy Spirit.
So this is over the weekend.
Thank you for your mercy.
Kanye had one of his Sunday services, right? Yeah. And this is Justin Bieber there praying right now for Marilyn Manson.
He's just praying, but I guess he's praying with. I guess it would be more with Marilyn Manson.
Still kind of creepy.
It is kind of creepy.
It is. They're in all white.
And the way that he's dressed.
Thank you that you never leave us or forsake us. Thank you that we could never be more loved than we are right now in this moment.
Does Kanye have no eyebrows?
That's what it looks like.
Wrap us with your love.
Where's his alien mask?
Show us who you are. Show us who you are.
But the reason why I want to show, like, I know everybody.
That looks creepy.
Like, it does look creepy, but it's still like, okay.
The enemy, any fear, we bind it in the name of Jesus. Your name is above it all. The name of Jesus is above it all. We cast out any demonic activity that would try to steal our peace today or steal our joy. We welcome your presence today, Holy Spirit. In the name of Jesus. Show us who you are.
He definitely has no eyebrows.
Kanye?
Both of them.
Marilyn Manson.
The White Ninja.
What's the White Ninja from G.I. Joe?
I don't know.
Snake Eyes and
that was
something Storm or
something.
Was that was Bieber doing the prayer?
Yeah.
All the charisma of Michael Jackson during the Bashir interview.
Hey man, it's raw.
That's speaking,
and that's what I'm saying. Like, it's not about like having all together. And I know he got like he's doing his own artistry.
Yeah.
And it might be like in two different like.
Right.
Yeah.
He doesn't really understand, but it's just like, don't judge.
God, I'm working at it.
We don't know the intent. You know what I mean? And definitely, it looks like they're attempting, like even Marilyn Manson, like he keeps showing up.
Mm-hmm. He was there when Kanye was doing his listening parties for the Donda album, and a lot of people were like, why is he there?
Right.
And they immediately went to judging. You know what I mean? And Marcus Rogers was one of them. And you don't know you don't really know what's going on in people's hearts. You don't know, like, you know what I mean? So it's true.
Yeah, the attempt can be.
Let it work.
Yeah.
Let it work.
And just because it looks weird,
it does though.
Yeah,
but like you said, that's the artistry part of it. It's like, when you're down that path of like, it's got to be
you can't, when you've been down that path, when you've gone in, right?
And when we were talking about Abramovich and all that, he was down that hole as
Kanye,
far as Alice in Wonderland.
And Marilyn Manson was definitely all up in that. He was right. So it takes time to that your mind, your brain is thinking in a different way. Right. I know when it says this is the way, walk in it, right?
Yeah.
That's a different way, right? That way, Jesus' way, is the fire again. I'm not going to go there because I'm going to go over what people says. But my point is that the way is our thinking process, right? So when you start going down those paths, you start thinking in a different way. So now God's got to shift your thinking.
Yeah.
And it's learning to give it up. And I'm still learning to give it up. I'm still learning to let go of my pride in areas. So I'm just saying that, like, people need to pray for these guys and not go and judge.
Yeah.
Like,
what
like,
is that?
We don't know the heart, the intent of their heart. In this.
Paul Horner said, "Endless frontier of hell."
Hold up.
He was talking about.
No, I am. Naomi said, "Good evening, everyone. Blessings." And then Mom said,
"When Justin Bieber."
Justin Bieber, such a boomer.
Dave says that too. Yeah. Justin Bieber.
When Justin Bieber said we cast out any demonic activity, I thought Marilyn Manson was going to go into convulsions. Kidding, because God is moving. Yeah.
Let God move.
Yeah, let him move. And just let it go. All right, so last thing we're going to show is the Michaela Peterson thing.
Okay.
We'll talk about that a little bit. For those that don't know, Jordan Peterson, you know who Jordan Peterson is?
Who?
Kyle, come on, man.
I'll join Kyle. Who?
You don't know who Jordan Peterson is either?
Did he murder somebody?
You've been around too long not to know who Jordan Peterson is.
Yeah, we talked about him before.
He probably.
We've shown his videos. We've talked about him.
Pressing buttons.
Okay. So Jordan Peterson, for those that don't know, is a world famous psychologist and professor. He's worked at Harvard. He was in.
He's from Canada.
He's from Canada, but
Canada,
and he was. You know, he's a figure now who has been. He got famous for going around and combating the
pronouns.
The idea that you could force people to say people's pronouns.
Mm-hmm.
He fought against that, and then you know, been interviewing ever since and doing all these lectures about psychology and
Black Lives Matters came against him.
Yeah.
At his college,
right?
Or I guess a chapter of Black Lives Matters. Turned out the person who did it got caught up in this whole
scandal.
Yeah.
He wrote a book called 12 Rules for Life, which is basically about learning how to live a more productive life. He focuses on men a lot, but he's a very famous guy, huge following.
No, it's not like he's talked about it before. He doesn't really focus on men, but men are the one that watch him the most on YouTube and stuff.
True. Very true. Very true. But anyway, Michaela Peterson is his daughter.
Real quick, he had an interesting interview with Into the Manosphere with the roommates.
The roommates, yeah. He had a good interview with them.
Yeah. So, got time, check that out.
Yeah, he did a good interview with Hafiz from the roommates. Yeah.
Kind of broke some of those perspectives.
Yeah. And he asked some good questions. He really tried to, because a lot of people have misconceptions about Jordan Peterson just from what they've seen on the news, because there's been a lot of attacks and stuff. So, when you guys get a chance, look up Jordan Peterson. He's been on Rogan a bunch of times.
Jordan Peterson?
Jordan Peterson, yeah.
And who is Michaela Peterson?
That's his daughter.
Okay.
So she, grew up with a father that is a very intellectual minded guy, very much in the psychology field, studying the way
evolution. I don't know what they call it, but he's I forget. It's connected to evolution. I forget how they frame it, but
yeah.
You talking about his beliefs?
Yeah, he kind of views everything through that lens.
Yeah.
Right. So he doesn't necessarily believe in Jesus, but he believes in the stories of the Bible in terms of
their benefit on the psyche of society. Mm-hmm. He believes in
their purpose,
and how they benefit society to have these beliefs. The Bible in general. He does a whole lecture where he breaks down the Bible, but from a psychological standpoint.
Right.
Which is actually, it's not bad. It's pretty good. But so his daughter, and then even with him recently, there's been little breakthroughs here and there where he's had these comments about struggling with the fact that believing in Jesus and stuff like that. Mm-hmm. So recently his daughter came out and said that she's been reading the Bible and that she pretty much accepted Jesus, because of some things that she was going through at the time. So we're going to play a little bit of that and then do some commentary.
Because I haven't talked about it before, but I grew up with Dad, so I learned a lot about the psychological significance of the Bible. The YouTube series on, and it was always kind of through that lens, metaphors. And then I had way too many really absurd experiences that I couldn't wrap my head around, where I was my life doesn't make any sense. This doesn't make any sense. This is too weird, too coincidental. And that happened for 5 years, every day. Mm-hmm. And I had some rough experiences over the summer. And about a month ago, I would say, I think I can say this. I would say I found God, which I haven't before. I definitely haven't before. And it was very sudden. And it was when I was, what I've been doing for the last, I'm pretty new to this, and what I've been doing for the last like month or so is reading the Bible and praying.
Good for you.
And I guess in a way that's more like Protestant probably. And it's been the like amount of peace that I've had, I haven't had before.
Yeah.
It's completely absurd. I can't believe it. Like, so I was looking forward to talking to you because my mom practices Catholicism and I haven't really understood it very well because I felt like part of it was kind of, I don't want to say vindictive, but I felt like there was a punishing element to it so that if you do something wrong, it's like, you know, repent and kind of punish yourself. And I feel like with my type of brain, I have enough guilt in me that I punish myself enough for anything I maybe even don't even do that wrong. So I was like, I wasn't very attracted to the whole Catholicism thing because I thought there was a punishment element. So I was interested in talking to you to like learn a little bit more about it.
Yeah. I have some thoughts on the punishment element, but I'm curious, can I ask about your experience first?
Yeah.
So when you said you felt you discovered God, what was that? Was it just like in a single moment you realized that things just lined up too well, or?
It was like, I had this one day where I was worrying about a number. There were like 4 really important, and I'm not going to get into details. That's fine. Either like you did, but like 4 really, I get it. 4 really important parts of my life and all of them were going really badly. Like in ways where I was like, am I not trying hard enough? Yeah. Like what more can I do? I can't do more to fix these 4 major problems. And then I met somebody. I was going to check out Austin to see if I wanted to stay in Austin for the winter, which I don't. But I met somebody there and he's Christian. And he was like, well, how are you managing with all these problems? And I was like, I'm not managing well. I'm really not managing well. Yeah. Like I'm working and I'm keeping it together, but I don't feel good. And I used to be like clinically depressed and it wasn't depression. I just wasn't feeling good. And he was like, well, that's why you need God. And I said, okay, well, that's fine and dandy. You know, it's nice when somebody comes up to you and is like, well, you need God, because that's how are you supposed to wrap your head around that? So I was like, well, I don't know. Like, yeah, okay, maybe that sounds great, but I don't know how to get there. And he said, just beg for him to reveal himself to you. Like ask him to, that's what he said. Ask him to reveal himself to you. And so I went home that night and I was pretty upset about like these 4 major problems. And I was in bed. So I was praying, like seriously praying, like, please give me some sort of sign. Please reveal himself to you. And the next day, all 4 problems cleared up in ways that I like made sense. It was like they could have cleared up, but the likelihood of all 4 of them clearing up randomly that day was just too much. So that happened. And I also woke up with this sense of calm I hadn't felt, like the sense of calm right here. And that was enough. I was like, okay, that's good. That's good enough for me. So it was kind of like a click there, which is different for me because I think I've been talking about it on the podcast a little bit and bringing people on and talking to my mom, but nothing clicked. So it was really sudden click. And then everything was great for about 2 weeks. So I was praying, I was reading the Bible. I was like, this is fantastic. Everything's working out. And then 2 weeks later, I was like, just a little bit, just this one little thought that was like, well, you know, am I being silly? There are actual like more logical explanations for why things turned around. And that happened. And then I had 2 just miserable days. So it was just 2 miserable days. And it was like, what is happening? Why do I feel this like existential horror again? Which I would differentiate from depression because I've been depressed before. This was really like existential angst.
Yeah.
And so then I think I went back. It's not like I'd stopped reading the Bible or stopped praying, but I was just a little bit more removed from it. Yeah. And so I went back to it, and then I had the most wild dream. So I was talking to my parents about this and being like, I think I found God. Like, isn't that crazy? And I went to sleep that night, and I woke up at 5:30 in the morning, and I had a dream. I think I'm allowed to talk about this stuff, but I had a dream, and this loud, thundering voice just yelled, "Do it," in the dream. And I woke up at 5:30 in the morning and was like, I think I just got yelled at by God. I think that just happened. That's what it felt like. What does that mean? What does it mean? So I had kind of a rough morning. I was like, I don't know what this means. is that really what happened? And then it occurred to me that I think what it meant was just go all in. Mm-hmm. Don't do this like 75% in. Mm-hmm. Anyway, so it's been a wild month. I'm doing really well. It's just, I'm a little bit shocked.
Yeah, I mean, that's incredible.
So because you are lukewarm and neither hot nor cold, I will spew thee out of my mouth. Mm-hmm. And the spew, it really means something like vomit.
That's Jordan Peterson, by the way.
It's an allusion to disgust. Mm. And so it's a very interesting idea, is that the people for whom the most severe judgment is reserved aren't the committed sinners or the committed saints. They're the people in the middle who sort of play both ends against the middle, who won't commit. And so it's possible, Michaela, that voice in your dream, this method of dream interpretation, by the way, is called amplification, and it's a Jungian technique. And so, your imagination presented this to you as something akin to a personal revelation. And so this is a amplification with a more impersonal revelation. It's don't play both ends against the middle, right? Commit to what you're doing fully. And that's perhaps, now it isn't clear what that meant because the dream wasn't that specific. You have to work that out for yourself. When you're doing something halfway, well, perhaps that's not for the best. Mm-hmm. So
it didn't even feel like halfway, though. It felt like 75% or 80 at that point. And I think even that wasn't good. It was like 100 or nothing.
Exactly.
That's what that felt like.
Don't forget to subscribe, guys. No, but so that's her story of how she feel like she found God, which is interesting because she comes from such a home of like psychologically breaking everything down.
And even how he was going back into that.
Yeah. And because everything that he has learned is from, his doctorate in Jung and Nietzsche and all of these philosophers that he studied beyond belief. You know what I mean? So he's coming from he thinks of everything from that standpoint. But I would say to like John and Kyle, you guys are the same generation, younger than us. Check out some of Jordan Peterson's stuff because it's a good like different way to introduce yourself into seeing things from a psychological standpoint, some of the things that we struggle with sometimes, you know what I mean? So check out some of his stuff because, there was a while there where we were watching a lot of his stuff heavy, you know what I mean? And you don't want to go like too crazy into anyone's stuff because, it's just not healthy. But yeah, check it out.
Yeah. And with her, I just thought it was interesting how, it's the younger one.
Yeah.
It's her, she's the daughter and she's coming to this realization. And even the way she was explaining what was happening to her, like, that's like the process. A lot of times you get a pushback after you kind of come to this revelation, right?
Right.
Then you get a pushback and you don't know. And she described it. She said, I know it's not depression because I was, depressed.
Yeah, and actually Rachel commented and said existential angst describes me in a nutshell. Like Jake often says, stop trying to always figure it out and just give it up.
Yeah. So
let it go.
When you're dealing with that angst, that stress, it's the place where you just get hit with this dread sometimes, where something hits you and you're like, where is this coming from? A lot of times it's spiritual, and we just don't understand, so we try to like make it make sense to us. But really, it's just like Rachel said, you just give it to God, and you learn to go to the place where you get the clarity.
Yeah.
One thing that I heard that it's so simple, but it's like, for me, it was like just a different perspective that I never saw it. Like purity is clarity.
Jake's angle not working or something?
No, they just
yeah. You know,
he just not paying attention. So
look at that.
Something that I heard was purity is clarity. So like when you go to the fire, it's kind of like gold. Like a pure gold is see through.
Right.
You know, the purest gold is actually you can see through that gold.
Right.
So purity gives when you go to the fire, you get all the impurities out. Now you can see clearer. You know, now you get a better understanding of stuff. And a lot of times it's just we're being refined. You know what I mean? And you get hit with something because it's trying to get you to quit.
Yeah.
You know? And a lot of people do. And you're like, and you forget, like, what was that thing that I was really flowing in this thing, and then all of a sudden I just quit. You know, so many people get caught up in that. You know, and like I know so many people who were so gung ho, you know, filled with the Holy Spirit, like gung ho, and then you talk to them a year later, and they're like, "Yeah, that was something." Yeah, like, but then they just like don't even want to talk about it, you know, because they went a different way.
Yep. Mom giving us the breakdown of the. What's going on with the election?
Let's go.
50%, 50.5%. Woo, it's close for Citarelli, and Murphy has 48.7%. So right now, he's in the lead.
On Citarelli. So we didn't talk
Horner
about
said,
it.
Let's go, bros.
We didn't talk about it, but what was some of the stuff that happened with Project Veritas?
So Project Veritas did an expose.
Project Veritas.
Yeah, on Veritas. They did an expose on Murphy, and one of the things that they uncovered was that there's a lot of things that he's trying to keep under wraps until after the election. One of the main things that he's trying to do is he wants to implement a lot of the mandates that are happening in New York already that de Blasio's been doing. So like vaccine passports, mask mandates, all of these, like, you know, people losing their jobs, things like that. He wants to do that here, but he's holding it off till after the election because he knows that if that comes out. And I was wondering, like, yo, why?
I was wondering the same thing.
He don't seem like the type that would be just like easing up on these mandates.
Like,
tyrant.
Yeah.
Like masks are not; they're still just
optional.
They're not required.
Right.
When you go into stores, so it's like something's going on. Yeah. You know?
And the same thing with vaccine passports. Like he's not making that, you know, a mandate
because he wants to get reelected.
But the videos that they put out showed that he's just waiting till after the election. There was some other stuff with illegal immigrants, also a bunch of stuff with taxes that he's going to raise sky high after the election, a bunch of things. So, you know, people need to be aware of this stuff because these politicians, that's what they do. They're not going to show their hand. They want to get reelected, and then they implement things. They know they have to wait, you know, before they really show their hand to get those votes.
Because if you know the truth, it might
sway you a different way,
or mobilize people to be like people that would normally just be like Democrat always wins in Jersey. It would mobilize them to be like, oh heck no, we gotta go out there and vote. You know what I mean? Yeah. So they keep that stuff close to the chest.
Yeah, the polls were packed in my district.
Mine wasn't.
Not me either.
Yo,
really?
Not packed.
When I went, I thought there was something funny going on because she just asked me for my name first. Like she typed in my name.
Last name.
Well, she started, the last name first, and then my first name. She just, I was like Simone, Samoe, and then that should come up. Nothing. Like. Did you register? I'm like, yeah, I registered. I even got something in the mail to do the mail-in thing, whatever like that. So she typed in my full first name, last name, full first name, nothing. I was like, here we go. Here we go. Something.
You've already voted, sir.
I thought it was going to be that. I was pulled out my phone. I was about to. She's like, let me see your license. I'll just scan your license, and then my name came up.
She was probably spelling it all wrong.
No, I watched it. I watched it. She spelled it.
The lady I went to, I had this older lady, man. I felt so bad. She was like, EBY, like no, EVA. I had to tell her like,
let me just do it for you,
because they got the little iPads now that you sign and all that stuff. Yeah. But
so did you get the ticket? Like the long ticket.
The
now,
ticket, and then you
put
the
it
iPad.
in.
No, I didn't have to do all that.
Yo, it was like something new, like and fancy.
Yeah, the regular machines.
Yeah,
the one you press the button.
But we had a long ticket. It was like a a regular machine too. Like you stick the ticket in, and then it sucks it up, the piece of paper, and then you press in the thing, and then it prints out whatever
your results.
Oh damn! No, we ain't
you print out the results, and then it comes down. It comes down so you can see your results just to check to see if it's
if it went properly.
And then you hit cast vote, and then it sucks it up, so nobody touches it. So where you can cheat or whatever. Like
until they collect them from the machine.
Then
it'll disappear.
Then they can just do whatever they want.
Right.
I burn it. Convenient to use this one.
Scan them into the ones they want 50 times into the tally thing. Not saying that's what they do, Facebook and YouTube. Just telling jokes here. We're jesting.
Yo, but majority, I didn't see any like younger. Well, I saw one young. She looked like she was like 20 with her mom or whatever, but it was all like older people.
Yeah.
Like where the young kids?
Yo,
at?
young people don't.
Where
vote,
the young
man.
kids?
Look,
at?
both of we got two in the building right here. They ain't even young. Y'all both. John's 30 something. Kyle's about to be 30. They ain't even vote.
Yeah, come on, guys. It's irresponsible. Taking your freedoms for granted.
I vote every election. I didn't vote this one. Sorry, I don't know anybody from New Jersey.
It don't matter.
He couldn't vote in this one anyway. He can't.
Random hit.
Yeah, he can't vote.
Why?
Because
it's
a governor election. It's not national. He has to vote in California.
But he's been here for a year, right?
He doesn't have a. He still has his California.
I'm a resident here.
Oh, you are?
Yeah.
Oh, never mind. I thought forget what I just said.
Up for him. Come on.
Yo, I gotta show y'all this because
it don't matter to me.
I gotta show. It should. You see the stuff that this dude is doing. It should.
Who says the next one's not going to do the same shit?
You do.
Right.
I mean, you know he's not going to do what Murphy's
doing it.
He could not change anything too.
He could.
That's true.
But it's true.
But we know what Murphy's doing.
Yeah. And what he said he's going to do.
That saying that is the problem.
Yeah.
You can't. No, I don't know. So I'm just going to do nothing. No, you have to do something. That's the point. To do something.
I didn't even know there was an election. So carry on.
Yeah.
You knew because I told you.
So that's the issue.
Today you told me.
I did not tell you today. I talked to you 2 days ago. About the election.
You told me 2 days ago.
All right, but all we're doing is saying, take the responsibility. Yeah. I wish I had somebody telling me.
I told you 2 days ago. Yeah, there's an election, so you had a couple days.
Yeah. And we're not saying be offended. We're saying the responsibility is there. The responsibility is there.
Yeah.
And if you
y'all
don't
should,
take
glad
it,
you did your responsibility.
Y'all should want to do it.
But
is what we're
if
saying.
you don't take it,
y'all should want to do it.
Then it's what you're doing is you're actually appreciating, or you're not appreciating what you have, the privileges you have.
Yeah. And you're
gotta break down those walls, man. You gotta let it go.
You're prioritizing things that don't matter over things that do matter.
I don't want to come back anymore.
You should get in this fire.
You should want to come back.
I do want to come back.
See, so people who are listening, you're hearing live on air how a brother can fight back, and be prideful. But it's okay. We still love you.
Well, I'm not prideful. I just didn't do it. Didn't think about it, and I'm sorry. That is not your happiness. I don't know.
It's not your happiness.
It don't change my happiness, bro.
Let it go.
Exactly, Jake. Let it go.
Let it all go.
Rachel said she got the ticket and was like, "Yeah, they gonna throw this one out."
They're not throwing my ticket out.
Yeah.
They're not throwing your ticket out.
Hey,
just
man.
jokes, Facebook.
Yeah, just jokes.
Just jokes.
All right, I want to see this video so I can go.
Okay.
Potty.
All right. This will be the last one I show before we wrap it up.
Did you drink all 7 beers?
Bro, I only had 2.
I really don't want to end it on this note, but it is kind of messed up, man. This is a Ring doorbell camera, and I felt bad for the little girl. This is like a little girl trying to convince her dad not to be a piece of crap. Like, just check it out.
All of it? Take everything that was in there? Huh?
I just take a little bit because the trick-or-treaters need some.
Come on, baby.
The dad is telling her to take all the candy.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
And she said, I just took a little bit because the trick-or-treaters will need some. And then he sneaks over there like no one can see him, like, and now he's taking all the candy.
I got all of it. Almost all of it.
Oh my goodness.
That's enough, Daddy. Need some for the chicken.
Look, she said, that's enough, Daddy. Leave some for the trick-or-treaters.
Okay. They've already been here.
Yeah.
And he's saying they don't need any more. There's no more trick-or-treaters. He's just lying.
Okay, come on. Carry your bowl. Get all of it?
Yeah, that was it. Sad, man.
Yeah. You don't have to be like that.
Sad.
It's taught, see?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
Selfish, but we're here to love on people, right?
That's right.
Even when they're selfish.
I don't remember what this was.
Of Exxon, Chevron, BP, Shell. I know that the climate activists in Twitter world, which Dave Chappelle says doesn't exist, and he's right because it's just people who have nothing better to do but type on their keyboards, and we do it too here in Congress. But let's be very clear, you need an apology because what I witnessed today was just rank intimidation by the chair of this committee. Trying to get you to pledge on what you're going to spend your money on is a gross violation of the First Amendment. And just because we're members of Congress and we got microphones and we pass laws does not mean that we also have the ability to infringe on your ability to organize, whether it's API or anybody else, or what you choose to spend your money on. It is disgusting. It is absolutely disgusting. Somebody needs to go call Merrick Garland, tell him to get in here and watch the intimidation that came from this very panel today. Because this is not about defending big oil or defending big anything. It's about defending the ability of people in our country to be free, say what they want, think what they want, spend their money how they choose. And if we're not going to be any better than the Chinese, how do we ever expect to beat them on the world stage when we're cutting our neck when it comes to energy production, while they are burning more coal, they are burning more oil, they're increasing their emissions, and they're not showing up in Scotland. You know why they're not showing up in Scotland? Because they're interested in building an economy. They're interested in becoming the dominant...
Not showing up in Scotland and falling asleep.
economic player.
We were just talking about this.
Yeah. They're interested in becoming the dominant military player across the globe. And while we joke around and mess around intimidating you guys who frankly heat our homes, you cool our fridges, you keep our cars going, this is insane. So I'm sorry for you. And I'm sorry for the people in our country who have to witness shenanigans like this and witness circuses like this. That's why they call that one show on HBO, whatever it is, The Circus, because that's exactly what this is. Madam Chair, I'm requesting that a letter be entered into the record. This is a letter written by...
I don't know what the letter was.
Yeah. I'm like, that's not going in the record. That's going to be objected.
Yeah.
Yeah. Usually they say with no objection.
Nancy's like, mm-mm. Where's your mask? Fined.
Yeah,
You're fined. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, guys, let's wrap it up.
That was good.
I had to play that last one because the other one was so depressing. It's like,
That was sad.
yeah.
I heard VA is being called for your youngkin.
Is it?
Yeah.
Oh.
Well, projected. It's projected to be called
Yo, so all of that, we didn't even talk about that. The fake white supremacy stuff.
Yes.
Oh, Kyle, we didn't even get to show you that where they did a
There's next week.
They did a Clayton Bigsby.
There's always next week.
Uh-oh.
Tune in next week for what Kyle learns more.
Well, an hour ago it says polls close in New Jersey after reports of some technical issues.
That's because y'all didn't vote.
Here we go.
Gosh darn it.
Here we go, man.
It happened at mine.
John didn't even laugh at that at all.
No, he's done.
Mad.
He's done with us.
We had 2 booths.
You had two
and
booths?
the one wasn't working. The one I went in did, but the other one had somebody in there, and it was just down.
Wow.
And the lady who works on the machine was on lunch, so
she's on lunch.
All right, well, we'll see what happens, man.
Let's pray.
Yeah, appreciate you guys for watching. We're gonna wrap this up. Handmaid's Tale. What are you talking about?
I don't know.
Kyle,
he just wanted to say
it. Do you even know what Handmaid's Tale? Did you even watch it?
I've been watching. I've watched all 5 seasons so far.
Really?
Or 4 or 5 seasons.
I watched it too, but
I feel sorry for you.
I was not a part of it.
You know what? I was combining Handmaid's Tale and the last season of with Tom Clancy's what? Who's the guy? Not Jack.
Jack Ryan.
Jack Ryan. Yes.
Yeah. There's a lot. Jack Ryan is a good show.
When the Venezuelan president was losing the election, so he militantly shut down all the polls before he could lose.
Oh, you mean kind of like what? Never mind.
Let's go, Brandon.
Take that, Meta.
All right, guys. Yo, shout out to everybody who's been watching. We appreciate each and every one of you. My mom said it looks like Citarelli is the winner.
Let's go.
Okay.
That would be great.
Yeah.
Hold his feet to the fire.
Youngkin and Citarelli. Yo, that would be crazy. And you gotta hold her feet to the fire.
Hold their feet to the fire, man.
Yeah. Yo, we gotta start holding these politicians accountable because they all want to just be crooks. They want to just be.
Yep.
They want to be in there and they want to get rich and they want to move up and they want to give favors to have power in
even in our local municipalities.
Yeah, that's right.
I like my issue is I go in, I vote, and I got no choice.
Yeah,
because there's not even Republicans.
Right.
Yeah.
On the council,
Yo, did you see that too? Like, it's like they don't show what they are. Like,
yeah, but you can't just go off a Republican either because
no. I'm saying that the point is there's even
no
a
choice. Yeah, right.
Like it's just like they're winning.
Yeah,
you know
they
what I
run
mean?
unopposed.
Right.
Yeah,
right.
And that's what's been happening a lot there in my town.
Well, I started picking off of other factors. I'll tell y'all after. All right, y'all. We out of here. Appreciate each and every one of you. Don't forget to hit the Patreon. And we didn't even shout out the Patreon today. If you want to support and you want to become a member, hit the Patreon. Patreon.com/youngliontv. Shout out to everybody who's been watching who are Patreon members. Emma, Paul, everybody else. But yeah, we appreciate y'all. Jatan.com if you want to get music and merch and all that good stuff. There it is right there. And we will see you guys next week. Peace.
Peace.
Young lion go live, yeah. Young lion, you rich, yeah. This